Labor is turning the lights out. Prices will soar, jobs will be shed, and industries will collapse. Australians will be left poorer and our nation weaker. All this and emissions have flatlined. In fact, our local environment is being severely damaged. But it's only going to get worse, and this is a direct consequence of Labor putting all its eggs in one basket with a renewables-only policy. Renewables have stalled under Labor. Gas is being suffocated with a lack of supply, and we have 90% of Australia's 24/7 baseload power exiting the grid over the next decade, with no chance of a replacement being ready in time. Labor is turning off one system before having another one ready to go. Australia's running out of energy. Now, only the Coalition has the ability to get Australia back on track, and our plan is to deliver cheaper, cleaner and consistent 24/7 electricity as part of a balanced energy mix. Today and historically, we have had a balanced mix in Australia. Today we have renewables, we have gas and we have coal. As we move forward into the future, we see an Australia that will still have a balanced mix of technologies, renewables, gas, and as coal retires from the system, it will be replaced with zero emissions nuclear energy. This is the natural next step for us as a nuclear nation. Australia already is a nuclear nation. We know that nuclear technology saves lives. We know that because we have a nuclear reactor operating here in Sydney. It's been operating for decades, saving lives, especially diagnosing and treating cancers. Technology we know that also protects lives. Through the AUKUS deal with the United States and the United Kingdom, Australia will have nuclear-propelled submarines. And we know that nuclear technology also underpins livelihoods. As a country with the largest reserves of uranium, powering nuclear plants the world over, despite having none of our own, we know the economic importance of nuclear technology. And so today we go that one step further as a coalition under Peter Dutton's leadership to spell out what our plan is to introduce a civil nuclear program into Australia. Now, this is about far more than just solving the problems Labor has created. This represents a new era of economic prosperity for Australia, a new era underpinned by an abundance of cheap, clean and consistent 24/7 electricity. And at the front of that economic wave will be those host communities across regional Australia, those 7 communities which have been identified, which will host these zero emissions nuclear power plants. And we'll be working together with them to define the vision specifically tailored to their area, because they will be uniquely placed, as all Australian households and businesses benefit, with cheaper, cleaner and consistent energy. Well, these communities in particular will have the cheapest and cleanest and most consistent energy in the country. Today, I believe, represents an enormous milestone in what has been a very open and transparent discussion with the Australian people about what a future Australia can look like. We have what it takes. We already are a nuclear nation. And it's with enormous hope and optimism that I look towards the only credible pathway to decarbonise and reach net zero, while ensuring Australia remains a highly prosperous country, a strong country and a fiercely independent one. Thanks very much.
Well, thanks, Ted. Good to be here with my colleagues, and this truly is an incredibly important day for our energy system, for our economy and for our nation. What we are laying out today is a pathway to lower emissions, affordable, reliable baseload 24/7 energy for this country. And we've seen under Labor an energy train wreck, and my colleagues have laid out many of the implications of that, but it's also an economic train wreck. An economic train wreck that this weak Treasurer in Australia right now has not seen fit to challenge. He doesn't challenge his colleagues who are doing the wrong things for the economy because he is a weak Treasurer and he doesn't understand the economy. And we're seeing the implications of that. As Susan said, we're seeing industry manufacturing shutting down in this country. We've seen Qenos shutting up shop, the Kwinana alumina refinery shutting up shop. We're seeing insolvencies, as Susan said, across the country right now, and there's no doubt there's more to come. Jobs lost. That is not how you make things in Australia. So we need, for our strong economy, we need reliable, affordable, falling emissions energy, and that's the pathway that we're laying out today. Now, we've made very clear, as Peter said earlier, that the government will own these generators. The Treasurer was very confused about all of this morning. He doesn't understand the difference between ownership and return on capital, but this is a Treasurer who's a doctor of spin, not a doctor of economics, so it's understandable he doesn't understand basic economics. But that is the reality of what we're facing with the pathway he's taking us down. What we're laying out today is a pathway forward for this nation that I'm very proud to be part of and that will serve us well for many decades to come.